Boom goes the dynamite. What is up, boys and girls?
What's up?
Howdy ho.
Howdy ho, ho, ho. Let me tell you, what a drama-filled week in the drag racing world. Actually, drama-filled few weeks in the drag racing world. I've forgotten about some of the things that pissed me off that I wanted to talk about this week already. So I'll have to just remember when they like pop into my head again. But yeah, we're here. I just came home from LS Fest West in Las Vegas, which was awesome. Me and JJ and the entire crew, Brad Hardy and all the great staff at the strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway had fun running the drag race portion of LS Fest West and all the other things that go on there as well. Stack Speed Donut Pit for the sideshow, and we had Burnout Wars, and we had Autocross and Speed Stop and all the things. And a Drag and Drive. We did the Drag and Drive class and our Drag and Drive cruise, which was cool. So although next year going to do an official Real Deal cruise, well, not official, an unofficial Real Deal cruise, because Holly can't be on board with a real, like, we can't go onto city streets. Holly won't let us go onto city streets because there are, and everybody always thinks it's a liability like insurance thing. It's not an insurance thing. It's a if we go out on the public roads in emissions controlled vehicles that no longer have emission control stuff on them that Holly sells, it's a bad deal. So I'm going to do an unofficial Drag and Drive cruise before the event even starts that has nothing to do with. See where I'm at?
That's awesome.
So it's going to be fun.
Let's all go. Let's all go.
I know. Yes. And actually, I was just thinking about the fact that we need to do a cruise for LS Fest Texas. It would be fun to do like a little cruise night thing somewhere. There's some cool places not far from the racetrack that would be kind of cool, to maybe do a fun cruise. I don't know.
Meet church.
Well, meet church. Yeah, that'd be cool. But that's a long way away from Texas Motor Speedway for, the normal, but it would still be cool. You're right.
You can go through Old Dustin, check out Mercantile, Barrett and Goldie's place, and it's cool old downtown area. The back roads down through there.
Yeah.
Up and go through.
It's only 2 weeks from now is the bad thing. So
that's
that's tough.
I don't know, but we'll think about that one. And then, and then it's on to Bowling Green and all those things. So yeah, but
don't fall out of the tower this year.
No, they built me new stairs.
Yes,
sweet new stairs. Yes, I know, and I was told there's a plaque on them with my name on it, and if there isn't, I told them I'm burning them to the ground.
Good job.
And the building they're attached to, all going up. There's got to be a plaque. I don't care what it says on the plaque, as long as it says my name somewhere on the plaque. I don't care what else it says.
That's right.
So I've warned them. I'll light them on fire.
Hey,
Chad fucking Reynolds fell here.
Yes, that's what I wanted to say. Right there.
Yeah, and they'll get a letter from me to whom it may concern letter, because my friend fell down at your shitty stairs.
To whom it may concern. That is spicy.
And there might be some words like furthermore and
whoa.
Yeah.
Damn. Look at that. 4th grade education.
I know. That's lots of syllables going on there, dude. I can't even count.
I don't even know what a syllable is. We'll put 10 or 15 of them in there.
There's 3 syllables in a syllable.
God dang almighty. Look at us go. We're doing math now, boys.
Wow.
Yay.
Before
so what did you two weirdos, idiots, monkeys do the last week, let's say? Anything
Aaron,
exciting?
you go ahead. My list is a little long.
Hey, it is. I know. I'm teeing it up for you there, big boy.
Mine's short, but I've been following Ryan. He's been doing a lot of shit. So mine's basically a 4-letter word. Work. That's been it. That's been it. It's been work, and the other 4-letter word, some golf, and that's golf. Not it.
You golf.
I've been.
But you golf a fair amount compared to a lot of people. but you work way more than you golf. So, you golf as your like release, stress relief thing.
That's basically it. Yeah. Because so we're only open Monday through Thursday is when we're open. But, and I have to explain this to certain people, especially local guys. They're like, I saw you heading to the golf course on Wednesday at 9 a.m. And I said, yes, I was waiting on parts. And you know what? It's going to rain on Friday. And I'm trading Wednesday for Friday. And I'll just work Friday. So because it's going to rain anyway. So I can't golf on Friday. So I work 7 days. You know this, Chad. As somebody that owns their own business, you work 7 days a week. My phone is never not by my side. I always answer my phone. And my business hours are 10 hours a day, Monday through Friday or Monday through Thursday, but I'm available. I won't say 24/7 because there's people that will exploit that.
Right.
Available almost every day. And so I trade hours for hours, and my wife is very generous and very giving and allows me to do that as well. She's understanding. She doesn't give a shit if I go play golf on a Wednesday morning or a Thursday morning, but I'm going to work on Friday or Saturday or even Sunday. I get my work done. So as long as you get your work done, it doesn't really matter. And that's really the benefit of being your own boss, is what that is.
And it's one benefit when there are a bunch of things that are not benefits. So we'll take that one benefit. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. True. No, it's a big benefit for me. And after managing, a bunch of employees at a company before, and now coming here, and it's just me and my brother-in-law helps me part-time. It's awesome. I mean, it's the freedom and the less stress is a great thing. I mean, I'd have less gray hair if I didn't have to manage a bunch of people for, 6 years before I came here.
Right.
I mean, if I would have stayed there, I'd look like Chad.
Yeah, you'd have nothing but white going on. Hey,
I wish it would just turn white. Honestly, I do. I'm just like, I don't like the salt and pepper, and I'm not vain enough to diet. So I wish it would just turn all white or just stay dark.
One or the other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
give Ryan another 5 years. He's going to have a lot of gray.
Oh, dude.
Guys, here's the deal. I don't know if you know it or not, but I actually am never going to get gray.
You're a just for men guy.
No, I'm about to be 43 years old, and every friend I have is either completely white or salted and peppered up. I did have one that I had one added to my beard right here. I went to the hairstylist and had her color one strand.
Just one. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, that way I didn't make you guys feel weird when I was around.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted you guys to feel all right, but yeah.
Well, now that you where'd he go?
I turned it off. It's great. I love it.
I come back, it's all white.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that'd be awesome.
So now you've lost all that weight, wait till you look down and you got gray hairs on your balls.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that'll be funny. That'd be really funny.
I'm partially
awesome.
I'm partially a ginger. Okay, like I'm pretty Irish, so I mean we stay kind of a shade of red.
I am too. Yeah.
Oh shit. Too. Okay, then I'm screwed. Yeah.
Yep. You're
go ahead, Ryan. What's that? What happened to you about?
Yeah, like you have so many things going right now, and I'm going to ask you about one that probably will make you go, oh, but even more. But keep going. But let's know, what have you been doing?
Well, okay, we've been finishing the build on the S10 for Jake. It has, it's one of those deals where it's like, hey, we're gonna get a roll cage, and then it's like, hey, let's change the stuff on the rear end. Then it's like, hey, let's add some more stuff, and then it's like, hey, we need to rewire the whole truck. And it's like, hey, while we're doing that, let's just go ahead and switch to a switch panel. Hey, while we're doing that, let's go ahead and put the Nitrous Express stuff on there. And so, like, we're coming down to it. Jake got another sponsorship from my friend Marcus Burge down here in Canton at Nonstop Auto Shop. And he was like, dude, I know you're going to be gone a lot for the next few weeks, so let me just take this thing over. And he sponsored him some stuff that I was not expecting. It is a big surprise for Jake that I've already seen the sneak peek on, and it's badass. And,
that's awesome.
Dude, I'm super excited about that. So we are trying to finally get to the track, to the Cinco de Mayo race, not this coming weekend, but the next weekend. We're going to test, see if we can run the number. If we can run the number, then XRP.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. If we can run the number, I'm going to buy him in. If we can't run the number, we're just going to test and let him get some seat time because he's been out of the seat since November. So,
oh, gotcha.
Yeah. But so there's that. Secondly, Tailgate Throwdown is getting badass. We've got some new shirt designs we're coming out with. This year is going to be off the freaking chain. We got some dudes coming out from Wisconsin now that are bringing some badass hot rods. We got the new Tailgate Thugs class, which is going to be awesome. Super excited about that. And then we've got some new sponsors on board.
Somebody's bringing a wagon.
What's that?
Somebody's bringing a wagon.
Man, every time Aaron starts to talk about Tailgate Throwdown, he starts breaking up.
Yeah. So where is the Tailgate Throwdown happening? Is it still happening at Newport or no?
As of right now, Newport Raceway has a new owner, Daniel Hodge. He is also a racer, and he has committed to stick to what we had going on with Scott. Okay. And so we are good to go. I do, however, have a backup plan just in case something goes south. I had a really good conversation with the owner of Amarillo Dragway. That place was wild. And
wild as in it's like a gravel driveway?
Dude.
With a Christmas tree in the middle of it?
Yes. But man, dude, I love that place.
And I'm not bagging on Newport Dragway because it was awesome and we had a great time. But it is a runway that was turned into a drag strip, and there is very little drag strippiness to it, right? It is rough. Okay.
Yeah.
But it looks like the Motorplex or XRP in comparison to Amarillo Dragway. So Amarillo, wow. Yeah, I haven't been now, to be fair, I haven't been back in a few years, mostly because I like the windshields in my cars to stay a windshield as opposed to a thing that's just a big piece of broken glass, which is what happens if you go to the staging lanes and try and line up to go in the water box there because the place is a giant gravel pit. It just sucks. But tell me why it was awesome when you were there.
Dude, man, the fans, bro. Okay, so check this out. All right. So I've been getting some announcing gigs, and I got asked by Chris Graves to come up there and announce this Match Race Madness. It was the 66th anniversary of the track. It's been open since 1960s, built in 1959. And if you look at a picture of this place at the 1971 Nationals, it looks the exact same. Like you can take a picture today and put it right next to the picture of the starting line in 1971, and it's identical. And I'm very nostalgic, and I love things to not change much. So when I go there, when I went there, and I'm like, dude, this is exactly what I've seen. It was super cool. But the place,
I love that part of it.
Oh, dude, the place was packed. I'm talking all the way down the spectator side, 6 rows deep, all the way down the quarter mile. The staging lanes, they had a VIP parking area full. The stands were full. The fences are full. The whole the walkway over the track full. Like it was. I've never announced a crowd that big, so I got them really involved and like picking cars and screaming and yelling. And I mean, I'm inside the tower and I can feel everybody yelling and screaming in the tower. I'm like, dude,
that's awesome.
Racing, like I was like, dude, racing is alive and well. We had like there was only like 65 total cars on the property. You know what I mean? And we put on a show, bro. Like it was a show.
Nice.
Yeah. So it was good. Jet car, all that stuff. That was pretty neat. But yeah, that was really cool. So got to do that.
I'm glad you had fun. That's great.
Dude, I had a blast, bro. I had a blast. Me and Jake had a blast. Jake got some amazing photos out there. He met, I knew Farm Truck and Asian, Sean and Jeff years and years ago, long time ago.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
But I hadn't talked to him in a long time. So I was like, I walked over and talked to him. I was like, hey, Sean. And he's so used to getting called Farm Truck. He didn't it didn't register. And I was like, hey, I know you don't remember me, but hey, listen. One night, you ran into 2 dudes with 2 trailers that had 2 S10s on them. You tried to race the 2 skinny dudes with long hair. We sniffed you out. We knew something was up. But my boy Kenny And he goes, Kenny. And I said, yeah, you raised my boy, Kenny. And we thought you were a cop for 2 years because he went to jail. He goes, I went to jail too. And I was like, oh, yeah, you did go to jail. And he goes,
oh, no way.
Yeah, they both went to jail. And so what was cool about this conversation is, one, I always told Jake, I used to run with them guys. But you know how it is, like, you don't get that validation. So my son got, he got to hear that, hey, my dad wasn't full of shit. He actually.
Right.
Yeah. So that was cool. But the cool part was for me that I got to hear the other side of that story. Like, we were there. We were trying to get them to let us take his truck. They wouldn't let us take it. They impounded his truck. And I didn't ever know what happened. He never talked about it. So I got to hear from Sean's perspective of what happened in jail. And Kenny was like a rat stuck in a cage in there. It was hilarious. Like, it was so bad.
No way.
Yeah, he said that Kenny was clawing at the walls trying to figure out how to break out. A jailer came in and left the door open, and he kept staring at it. He looked over and said, hey, don't even try it. There's like 5 different things you have to go through to get out of here. You're screwed. So it was so bad that he called his bail bondsman to get him out and was like, hey, can we work a dual deal? Because this guy I'm in here with is going to die if I don't get him out of here.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. Dude, it was hilarious. But we ended up having a great time with them. And their videographer, Lou from Lou 405 Video.
Oh, yeah. Lou's a great guy.
Dude, Lou spent an hour and a half talking with Jake, going over shooting photographs, settings, and let him shoot with his $10,000 camera so he could see what a nice camera's like, And huge shout out to Lou, man. That guy was amazing. And to stop what he's doing and spend that much time with Jake was like, it was awesome.
You ever want to see some real shooting? Lou's a competitive shooter.
I know. He shared me his videos, dude. I've been watching them. They're freaking awesome.
No, he's a competitive shooter. And Sean, Jeff, and Lou are all great guys. I mean, they really are. And they're
super, super good.
When you take the camera away, I mean, they're really genuine guys.
Yeah, dude, super cool, man. And that so that was cool, and that was just a good journey. We went to Cadillac Ranch. I'd never seen Cadillac Ranch. So that was always on the bucket list. We put Prime Dime on the top of a Cadillac, Prime Dime racing.
Have you not seen Cadillac Ranch?
Dude,
I've not driven around the country.
I've
driven by it literally hundreds of times, probably.
I've never been to Amarillo, bro.
What?
That was my first time to Amarillo.
Oh my God. You definitely have not been anywhere yet then. You have to drive through Amarillo to go like a ton of places, dude. Oh my God, yes. And you've never been
to Colorado.
40? What?
I've never been to Colorado. I've been to Arizona, but I went through El Paso and New Mexico.
My mind is blown right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
but anyway, so that was cool. And then this weekend,
awesome.
Dude, I'm heading to Mocan this weekend because I did good there, and the Street Out guys loved it. So they asked me to come and do Mocan this weekend. And then on the second week of June, I'll be back in Amarillo for the No Prep Chaos there. So that was pretty cool, man. It's been an exciting deal. And then of course we got hit with hell. So my normal job is killing me right now, but it's fine. It's fine. I'll be fine.
Oh. The only one busier than a roofer, or as busy as a roofer after a hailstorm, is the insurance adjuster.
This is me right here. Just writing checks.
Yeah. Oh, wait until I was going to tell you before we went live about the fiasco we've had because Peyton crashed her car. And I'm sorry, but just officially going to say it. The insurance industry is the biggest scam in American history. And that's saying something, whether it's health insurance or car insurance or homeowners insurance, it is all a giant scam because they don't pay for shit. Yeah. Also, kids, don't do the responsible thing. Don't listen to any of the things we've ever told you about buying cars. Don't put anything down. Do not pay extra to pay it off. Okay? Because you will lose all of those things if they total the vehicle. Peyton put $9,000 down on her car and pays extra on it every month. And her gap insurance is still having to pay off the remainder. So she is walking away with zero from buying this car that she spent real money on.
Yeah, it's right now I can tell you from the insurance world, it used to be when you drove a car off a lot, it depreciated by 15 to 20%.
Yeah, that was the normal forever.
At this current time with people continuing to write the checks and sign their life away on $1,500 a month car payments, your depreciation is looking more like 30 to 34%.
Well, the thing I don't understand is or one of the things I don't understand, literally the quote for repairing this thing, the parts, which are not all OE, are more expensive than if I buy them directly from Kia.
Yeah.
I could buy every part to repair this car for $3,800 from Kia. And they say it's $9,000. I mean, literally from Kia, not from Kia directly. They're $3,800. It is such a giant scam. And here's the real deal. Progressive Auto Insurance should be investigated. Well, them and the auction company. Do you know that they no longer have adjusters? You know who their adjuster is? The guy who owns the auction company.
Oh, that's
how crooked is that? So the guy that tells them, yep, it's totaled, is the guy who gets to have it and sell it then? I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Talk about crooked bullshit, you know?
Yeah. Luckily, I work for a company that isn't big like that. We're small, so we don't do any direct repair agreements or anything like that and I'm glad we don't, because there are, anytime an insurance company, because you're not supposed to steer in the insurance world, but hey, we don't have an adjuster in the area, but we do have a preferred shop that you're more than welcome to take it to. And they will definitely take care of you. Us, we're like, you can take it wherever you want, but
because legally you're required to be able to take it anywhere you want.
Absolutely. And they're trying to kill my job off slowly but surely with AI and online tools and all that kind of crap. So shout out to everybody who says, if you have a claim and you say, no, I will not take pictures for you, shout out to you, because you're keeping my job alive. If you're the person that takes the easy route and takes the pictures for the insurance company, you're killing my job.
Well, and you know what else is funny about it? So they told her that they hadn't looked at it yet. Nobody had looked at the car, and all this stuff for like the first few days, which is hilarious because they're also too stupid to know. The car tells her every time the door is opened. It tells her when it's moved. It tells her what the latest odometer reading is, all the things. So she absolutely knows that they took it off the truck and parked it here, and then they moved it and drove it a quarter of a mile total on this day and got in and out of it 6 times. Like, hello, dipshits. We know you already looked at this car. I mean, it's mind-blowing, the level of stupidity and crookedness and corruption and all the things. I mean, it is. I didn't call you because I was like, I don't want you to have to, even listen to me rant about this thing. But ultimately,
always call me, bro, if there's any way I can help you. Here's the thing. I will say this. You didn't hear it from me, so make sure nobody hears this.
Yes,
a public adjuster is your friend. A public adjuster is your friend.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that is.
If you are not pleased with what you've got going on, reach out to a public adjuster, have them get involved. And if you feel like that your vehicle has not been valued correctly, or that something was done incorrectly with making the vehicle a total loss, they will go and look at the vehicle. They will assess it, and they're a third party, and the insurance company has no leverage over them.
Huh. And what does it cost to have a public adjuster?
It used to be like $500 or $400, I think.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and in the public,
so you got to roll the dice that they're gonna, save you or save it or whatever. But but if you can, then
9 times out of 10, if you invoke the appraisal clause and get a third party involved, then that's the insurance company is, you get them by the balls at that point,
right?
Because
because unfortunately her car
says your car is worth more money, or that they found that it wasn't a total, then the insurance company has to walk it back.
Yeah.
The other thing I'll say with certain insurance companies, like the one I deal with, you pay an extra, and it's like $10 a month or something stupid like that, maybe less than that. But if the vehicle is a total loss, for that extra $10, you get the same vehicle 1 year model newer for the replacement, and they replace it. And it's like $10 a month. It's something stupid. I mean, yes, you're paying $120 a year for the shit or whatever it is, but if it's a total loss, like here in Texas with a hailstorm, whatever else it is, I mean, it's worth it because you get 1 model year newer of the same model and replacement.
Yeah, so there are some loopholes to that you have to be very careful with because there are some very tight loopholes. So you need to read the fine print. But if you do that, because I can't really talk about it, but there are some loopholes in there that are specifically placed. So if you cautiously, here's what I always say. You know, there was a time where we all went to the insurance company. The old insurance man said, "Hey, I need to get insurance on my car," and he's like, "All right, what kind of coverage do you want?" And you're like, "I like my payment to be so and so," and they're like, "Okay." Well, you can do this and this, but it's going to make your payment this. Ooh, that's a little high. Well, you can take a higher deductible and make your payment a little lower. Oh, I like that. Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, 9 times out of 10, you don't read your deck pages. Read your deck pages. Get you a little cup of coffee. Sit on the back porch in the morning when you got nothing to do. Maybe when you're taking a dump, and read that boring ass shit. But pay attention to the words that are in it because that is going to explain to you everything you're paying for. And all of that stuff can be changed if you know what you're doing.
Ah, gotcha.
You're not wrong. I read everything.
Yeah. I mean, it's we live in a world where everybody wants the instant gratification, and the fact of the matter remains a little time reading the old deck pages will help you out in them situations in the futures.
Let's get back to basics.
176 says $1,500 a month. What here in Arizona, the highest I've heard of from a new car is $800. If $800 a month is the highest you've seen for a payment, you live in some magical place because a $40,000 car with thousands of dollars down is $600 to $800 a month.
Yeah, shit. I paid $1,200 a month for my Expedition. I put money down. I got to get interest rate.
Yeah. Peyton paid $700 a month for her payment. She put $9,000 down.
Yeah.
And had good credit. So
yeah. And that's the other thing too, what you said before we move on. Hey, in the future, if you ever buy a car, if you haven't bought a car before, you haven't bought a new one, hey, definitely don't put any money down, because like I always go in and tell them I'm not putting anything down. They're like, what do you got to put something? No, I'm not. I've got the credit. I don't need to put anything down. I'm not doing that. And then you buy the gas.
No, because if she hadn't paid, if she hadn't put that down, let's say the payment was $100 a month more. Well, so she would be $1,800 less money now than she does have, but it would have come out of that $9,000. Like she would have been way further ahead, Yeah.
So, I ended up, one time we had a Mustang and it was a 2017. Sarah had it and only had 1,200 miles on it. We had it for 4 years, only had 1,200 miles on it. Went to go trade it in on a truck. And the guy was like, well, we want to give you $30,000 for the car. We only owed 24 on it. And like, you just want to roll it over into that truck? I said, absolutely not. I'm like, what do you mean? I said, you can cut me a check for the overage, pay the lien holder off, cut me a check for the overage, and I want to buy that truck. And he's like, well, what do you want to put down the truck? I said, absolutely nothing. I don't have to.
Yeah.
What do you mean? So I ended up walking out of there with 2% interest, 0 down on a truck that I got him to knock $10,000 off of.
$6,000 in your pocket.
Yeah, I had $6,000 in my pocket. Like, no.
Right. Yeah, you're like, you know what I'm going to use this $6,000 for? Cool. I'm going to split it up into car payments, and I'm going to send you one envelope at a time. That's what I'm going to spend the $6,000.
That's called chess, not checkers.
That's right.
They can eat the fucking checkers.
Yes, exactly. Agreed. Okay, sorry for the sidetrack. So, what should our first topic of the evening be?
Let's just get right into the bullshit.
Let's talk about Ron Capps real quick, because then we'll get fired up for because it could be. So Ron Capps, if you haven't heard the news, supposedly anyway, Capps and his team are going to go racing at one of the IHRA races coming up. And there are several other bigger NHRA teams who are also talking about doing it. And why wouldn't you? It's big money. And the teams that have been going there, that do sometimes race NHRA are like, dude, it's amazing. We're treated great. The payout's great. It's only 8th mile. The crowds were awesome. Like, why not do it? And I love him for it. But the The interesting part is going to be, will he get beat up about it by anybody at NHRA?
I think he will. I don't think he's going to end up going. I think he'll end up canceling.
Really?
I hope he goes. Well, Chad's exited the chat, but I hope he goes because it's great for him. Huh?
Chad's already going. He's going there right now.
But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it's great for racing. Here's the problem. The people that have already supported IHRA are invested in there. And if he goes there, honestly, his team's the favorite to fucking win.
Yeah. I
mean, that's the problem. Sorry.
Yeah, it can be good for business. It can be bad for business. You know, that's for sure.
Yeah. So what I said, Chad, was that basically if he goes there, which I hope he does, I 100% hope he does, because it's good for racing and it's a good pair. But he'll be the favorite to win.
Oh, of course. Yes, absolutely. And the reality is, you know, the elite team, Elite Top Fuel has been testing, quote unquote, at the IHRA. My boy Cameron Foray has been, you know, has run with it. I know Scotty Palmer ran. There have been some other teams that supposedly have gone and done some testing and everything too. And it's, I think it's all great. And I heard a rumor from a friend of a friend of a friend, deal that Densham was talking about going, because, or not Densham, sorry. Worsham was talking about going. I know that they run like 1 or 2 funny car chaos events every year. You know, and it's, the funny car chaos events are fun, but that, you know, then they're a favorite. Obviously, if Densham shows up, he's a favorite at a funny car chaos event.
There's a rumor out there that you might see an airplane company out there.
Oh, yes. I have heard the same thing. Yes. I think that it's good, though.
I don't want to throw out in public. I'll just say an airplane company.
Yes. I know who you're talking about. Yes. I will say this. I think that it would be, well, I know they wouldn't do this, but it would be in poor taste for IHRA to bitch about somebody that races with them normally going to NHRA and vice versa, right? And the reason that I would say that is if Ron Capps goes to an IHRA race at a racetrack in an area where NHRA is not, you know, doesn't do a national event, and gets people to be Ron Capps fans or bigger funny car fans, that's good for drag racing as a whole, right? I mean, those people are then more likely to go to an NHRA race as well. So, you know,
the problem is that you're talking to suits. The suits don't see that. Okay. And I'm not trying to be a penny loafer guy or anything like that, but the suits have ran NHRA too long. They haven't been racer run. They still are not racer run. I'm kind of, and I love Freiberger. I do. I'm amazed that he's actually as much involved in it as he is. And I understand everybody needs a job because he's out of the mainstream right now. But I mean, and loans himself. I mean, because it's like, it's all so corporate driven, and
it is.
IHRA seems their little knee-jerk reaction on some of their stuff, moves they made, but at the same time, they still seem a little bit more down to earth than NHRA. NHRA lost its way. It lost its way 20 years ago.
Well, right. And I hope that they're finding their way. They
would absolutely find their way if they would just, if they don't penalize Capps for going. That would be a huge move, because you remember back in the early 2000s, maybe it was the 90s, that basically they said that's when they limited the testing, because what happened was the NHRA guys would go to an IHRA event and they would test for the NHRA event. And IHRA wasn't big back then. They're still not big, don't get me wrong. But so NHRA was so worried about IHRA getting bigger that they said you could only test on these days at this track after the national event at this track. They would not allow
and that there was a maximum number of them that you could attend each year and all this stuff. Yeah. And at that time, and I'm not going to say who because it's just not worth it because there's too many nut swinger fans of theirs, but there were big NHRA teams that were privately renting racetracks and doing testing still, and then saying, well, that's a private thing, and so it doesn't count. If we had our own drag strip, we could test. And so they fought it. And because they were so big, NHRA let them slide and tried to keep it hush hush, but it was found out, etc. And it was just ugly. And like you said, they used the excuse that big teams couldn't, could afford it and smaller teams couldn't, and this and that. Not one time in history, well, in modern NHRA history, has NHRA ever looked out for the little guy. So that has nothing to do with it. It was all about them not being able to run at IHRA, like you said, which then also kept Clay Milliken, from coming and racing NHRA at more than a handful of events a year, because if you ran a certain number, over a certain number, then you were under that whole deal of the testing requirements. So he only ran a handful of them, it'd be really interesting actually to talk to Clay. I should hit him up to talk to him about that stuff, because obviously he'd have a better handle on it than all of us because he was right in the middle of it. But I hope that they allow him to do it. Well, wait, I shouldn't say that. He doesn't need anybody's permission. I hope that they don't bust his balls or cause him problems for doing it. But I have to say, Caps, I mean, I know Ron pretty well, and we've known each other for years now. He's really, really nice. Like, he's just not a dick, normally. And so I doubt he would do this, but I'm telling you, man, if they tried to make it so I couldn't go, I would be the most public mother you ever saw in your life about it. And I would just bury them in the bad publicity. I mean, absolutely bury them.
Here's
nobody puts baby in the corner.
Right.
True.
Yeah.
But here's the thing though. You got to think about the major auto parts warehouses in the country.
Yeah.
And there's only technically about 3 right now. I mean, if you know the background of who owns who and who owns who, and Napa is big. They are big. And that's a major, major sponsor for NHRA. So Clay back in the day didn't have huge sponsors.
No.
He had a Midwest sponsor is what he had and everything else, so they could bully him a little bit. They can't bully Caps. I mean, because
that's true.
They're cutting off a leg. So that makes a big difference in all this. And so the sponsor money makes a big difference. I mean, it absolutely does. And it's I don't see him not doing it. I mean, I'd love for Caps to show. I'd love for Milliken to show up again in an IHRA event, because the guy's like a 4 or 5 time freaking champion.
Oh, IHRA? At least. Yeah.
I don't know how many times, but I mean, he ruled.
I think it's more than that.
He ruled IHRA for years, but the problem, like you said, is that he couldn't run NHRA because if he ran more than, I thought at the time it was like more than 3 events, then he got into the penalty part where he couldn't test or whatever else and blah, blah. But he was winning all these championships in IHRA. But I mean, if you watch any of the nitro
6 consecutive IHRA Top Fuel championships, 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and had 51 IHRA Top Fuel wins. He set records for 10 consecutive events and won 30 consecutive rounds of racing in 2002. So dominating.
Bad dude.
And wasn't Foley was over there at that time too, was he?
Yes. And before he went NHRA, and I'll tell you, I I know Clay, and I've seen Clay all over the place for years, and he is.
He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
He is. He's goofy and funny, and he is a prankster, and he's always laughing. And that big shit-eating grin that's always on his face is legit. That's not a put-on thing. He is amazing with names. I am just horrible with names. So he's amazing. Him and Dave Kindig. Dave Kindig is unbelievable on names. But yeah, Clay is so much fun. And him and Lutz, are, such good friends, and they do a bunch of stuff together. Obviously, they're funny because when they're out in public together, Lutz is normally like kind of quiet, by nature normally, but with Clay, dude, they're both nuts. Yeah. I mean, they have fun, and Clay is a prankster kind of guy, like from the goofy stuff, like walking up behind you and tapping you on one shoulder when he's standing there looking at you on the other one. You know what I mean? He's that guy. He's, or the run into you. Oh, I'm so sorry. I ran into you right here, and he'll do that at SEMA. I was walking through the Toyo Hall thing outside where I have all those cool cars that are on display. And I was sitting there taking photos, and I'm taking a photo, and Clay just, slams into the back of me. To the point where people are like, oh, and then like he slams me and then grabs me, like keeping me from falling on, and I turn around and I'm not pissed, but I'm like, what the hell, and it's him. And he's like, I'm so sorry. And he starts laughing. I'm like, you're an idiot. And then I'm yelling at him like we're like, and people are looking like, holy crap. And Lutz is standing there, just laughing his ass off, getting it all on the phone, and he's laughing, and all these people are like, what in the hell is wrong with these three people? Like they're, because they're looking at like, why would these guys be goofy dumbasses like this? Because it's not what you expect, and we were having a good time. It's fun. So yeah, great dude.
Is he based out of Texas?
Clay Pardon Milliken?
Me? Is Clay
no, he's
based
Tennessee.
Out of
Tennessee. Well, I think their team is in Indy now because everybody is, I think, but he's from Tennessee. Yeah, he's a Tennessee boy. So, yep. But like I said, I to go back to Caps, I hope that he does what he wants to do and that he doesn't get beat up about it. Before I move on, Neil Alicious in the house, of course, Edward, moderator extraordinaire in the house, and then
Sabo or Sabo.
Well, see, it depends. It's Sabo, except when my phone says Sabo. And so Siri says it's Neil Sabo. And so we have decided that Neil there's Neil Sabo and then there's Neil Sabo. Yeah, and Sabo is the one you got to watch out for.
Hey, you don't want to talk to Nick. Hey, you want to talk to Neil Sabo. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly it. Yeah, exactly. So the elephant in the room that it's funny. I'm surprised that I knew Liggett would see it, but so the yellow Nova over here.
I saw the buttercut.
Yeah, it's a 68 Nova. It does not belong to me. It's just in my care because we picked it up. So for the second time, somebody I knew had a car for sale, and
wait. That was from last episode.
Yes, right. Yes, remember? So the John and Krista Long, who are on Rocky Mountain Race Week and all that, John was selling this thing, and my buddy Stephen Komos have been, looking for one for years. It's been on his list, and it was like, oh man, here's a good one, but and just hasn't had something happen. And so literally John put one picture of this thing up and said, hey, I'm going to be selling the Nova. And I didn't know anything about it. I was like, Steven, I tagged him in it in a comment. And, 20 minutes later, he's like, what do you know about this thing? I'm like, I don't know anything about it, and I said, but I'll get you in touch with John. And so I did. And they talked and lots of pictures. And then I went and looked at it and made sure it really was what it was. I mean, we knew it would be because it's John and Krista, but went and looked at it, did some video of it and stuff, and then told Steven, I said, I don't know what he's asking for it, but here's what it is, and it's a good car. And so they made a deal, and it was, and so I went and got it, and there it is until they get here to pick it up. So It's a 68. It has no motor or trans in it. I don't know what it came with originally, but it was originally a vinyl top car, and it's probably going back to being a vinyl top car. That roof, it looks from here, it looks all painted and ready, but it's ready for a vinyl top. It came with a 12-bolt rear end to put under it. It has some really bad subframe connectors in it. But it's got new floors and a bunch of stuff. There's a couple little other things of rust still present, but in the grand scheme of things, it's a great car. So it's in good shape. So yeah, so it should be pretty cool. Steven and Claudia are going to make it into just a cruiser. So should be good. The last one I got him was cheaper than this one by a lot. Although this one was a really, really good deal. The last one I got him was a 68 Camaro from my buddy Lowell, who had this car for like 15 years. And he told me he was going to sell it for what he paid for it 15 years before. And I was too broke to buy it. So literally while I was hauling that Camaro home to Dallas from Oklahoma, I called Steven and said, you want to buy this like right now? And he's like, I wasn't really in the market for a car, and I don't really know that I should spend the money right now. And I said, I am telling you that there is no better deal on earth than this Camaro right now, and you need to buy it. And he did, and I was right. And he was like, holy crap, this car is great. Yeah, zero rust.
You're never really ready to buy another one. You know what I mean?
No, that's it. Yes. Yeah. Well, Steven is married to Claudia, who is a wonderful human being. I love them both. They're like some of my best friends in the world. I get to spend time with them in Las Vegas for LS Fest, but they are super diehard. Okay. And I'm going to say this because it's not a secret anymore. They're pregnant. Okay. So Claudia is like 4 months along or whatever. And so she said to Steven, like a few months ago when they were like, okay, we're ready to try or whatever, they were like, okay, we need one. If we're getting one more project, we need to get it now before the baby comes. Right. And Claudia was like, yes, we need to get this before so that, we're good. We have lots of things to work on then while the baby is here, and we don't have to be buying more cars or anything, so it was awesome. So their priorities are in all the right places.
I love it. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Strong marriage.
Yeah. I will say, if anybody out there has a line on an ashtray for a 68 Nova, hit a brother up. That one does not have an ashtray, and apparently it's a 1 year only ashtray. So there are like people on eBay that want $500 for one. And if you are that guy, if you're like, oh yeah, Chad, I have one and I want $500 for it. Yeah, exactly. You can go F yourself because we're not paying that. I'll make one, or Steven will, or we'll
3D print it.
How about I give you $70 and I won't beat your ass.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Or I'll give you 100, but I get to pummel you like you owe me.
I get to knock the shit out of you, and I get to slap your mama.
Might be worth it. Oh, yeah. I'll pay 150 if I get to beat you up and smack your mama.
Yeah, I don't care if she's in the old folks' home or not. She's getting smacked.
No, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, you're out of control.
Hey, I've heard stories about like that. Anyway, so so that's what's up with the Nova that's sitting over here.
Moving on to the next,
my OBS Suburban, and so
Ryan's just chomping at the bit for the next one.
So raise your hand if you saw that the title of this was Donald Dick. What's not a typo? So Donald Dick and his stupid radial, whatever it is, Revolution Nation. What is it? What do they call it now? What's
LDR?
No, LDR is the class. It's limited drag radial. A Radial Outlaws racing series.
Oh yeah,
dude. Seriously, I mean, because you have no ability to name something creative at all.
The guy who hated Street Outlaws named his Radial Outlaws.
Radial Outlaw.
Oh, so it's a Cheeto eater class.
Hey, what is this? What is this?
Yeah.
What is this?
I don't know.
This is Donald swinging off the nuts in the street outlaw.
Oh, yes, that is right. He's holding on to the scrote.
Oh, that is going to become a meme. That's going to become a meme.
Oh my God! Right now, if I can play, he's coming in wrecking ball. That's exactly what I wanted to be able to play right now. Oh my God! I should have just done it on my phone. It would have been awesome. Holy shit balls, Batman.
Well, so this is because of LaSalle. LaSalle?
Yes. So Brett LaSalle, the snot rocket. Everybody knows the snot rocket. And let me say, like,
he got done dirty. He got done dirty.
He did. And let me be real clear. I think mod motors suck. Okay. I said it. I've said it. It's official. I don't like them. They sound like crap. Okay. And
I agree.
And let me remind people of one thing: making a statement that doesn't refer to any other things does not mean that they are superior. So when I say a mod motor sucks because they sound like crap, don't go, well, your LS engine sounds like crap too. Yes, they do. The firing order's wrong. It's a Ford firing order. They sound like shit. Don't come at me like that. I will choke you. Like, shut up.
You'll slap your mom.
With all those said, because again, Peter Harrell said every record there was to set with mod motors forever, right? And did entire series called More Chains Than Brains, because anybody that thinks that the smart way to run anything in an engine is with chains that are several feet long is doing it wrong. Now, I know if we were completely objective and you talk about 4 valves per cylinder and all the things, yes, they're great. Yes, they make big power. I respect them, all that stuff. Doesn't mean I got to like them. With all that said, Brett LaSalle got done dirty by Donald Long. And Donald is going to use his committee as the scapegoat or whatever. But he got done dirty because he went out there and hammered everybody's ass, which is not anything new for him. He's been doing it for a while. And then they pulled back and said, you went too fast and we're not going to allow it. And we're going to change the rules in this crazy drastic way that completely took him out of the ability to even compete in the class. And that is not the right way to do it at all.
Time out. We go back to the 60s. Okay.
Yeah.
This is way before Ryan was born, obviously.
And before I was born. But yes,
before I was born,
not too. Very far.
But Ford had a single overhead cam motor. They got outlawed.
Yes.
Because it made a shitload of power, more than the Hemi at the time. It did.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
No, I'm talking facts. I'm talking facts.
Oh, I know. Yes. I know it.
So, that was north of 800 horsepower NA, like 780 or
I mean, those things, Walt Austin was like the pioneer of those things.
Yes.
Okay? He was the pioneer of those things. And I mean, he still had, I mean, I know, well, Walt Austin, there was the Green Machine, there was a bunch of other funny cars that ran them in the Northwest. So it took Ford a long time to, I don't know, when the mod motor came out, like 97, somewhere in there.
Yeah,
1995,
96. Okay. To make a motor bigger than a 460 and less displacement than a 460.
Right.
A 4.6. So Ford's been always a little fucked up. Okay. And I like Fords. Don't get me wrong. I do. I like Fords. I like Chevys too. But at the same time, it shouldn't have been done this way, because the mod motor is not a great motor until you add boost. It's been proven that for years. You add boost to that motor with a dual overhead cam, especially the dual overhead cam, the motor makes steam like no other.
Yeah.
So smooth.
I mean, but to Chad's point, it sounds like shit, right?
Except for, listen,
the Coyote is the exception. The Coyote sounds
It sounds like a wet fart going on the road.
I still think the Coyote sounds crappy. Yes.
Look,
if you don't have the right exhaust on any of these new engines, they don't sound. You have to put, well, part of it too is because we run little bitty camshafts nowadays in comparison to what we used to run. So they don't have nearly, everybody goes, oh, I want the chop. It's like, dude, you have a little dinky ass camshaft. It's not even a half staff thing. But yeah,
my 03 Cobra sounded fucking badass. I love
that. It was a small block Ford. It was a traditional small block Ford still.
No, it was a mod motor, 32.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. It sounded amazing. The 0304 sounded great. The Coyote sounds like you went out to eat Taco Bell and held it in for 3 days and then took a glass jar and stuck it up to your butthole and try to get it in there. That's what a Coyote sounds like. It's the worst noise in the world.
I love the thought process on that right there.
I've never tried.
Say that all again. I'm going to replay this again.
I got to hear the sound of a Coyote at full song. Okay, at full RPM, I like the sound.
Like 8,500, $9,000. That's every engine sounds great at.
Yeah.
RPM.
You know, the flat plane crank in the fucking Corvette sounds great too.
Oh,
but it does not sound great at idle.
Yes.
It
sounds like a boat at the boat ramp. It sounds like a boat at a boat ramp. I mean, literally gurgling in the water is what.
Listen, here's the deal. I'm about to say something that may hurt your ears. So if you have children in the room, you might want to earmuff them. Okay. The Coyote sounds like shit. Okay. It does. It sounds like shit when you cold start it. It sounds like shit with a turbo, without a turbo, with a blower, without a blower. It sounds like shit. But you know what's worse? When you have a race program that sounds like a bunch of pussies because they're scared of it.
Oh, yes.
That sounds way worse.
I agree.
That's Donald Dick. That's right there. I mean, that's Donald Dick. Because the knee-jerk reaction of oh my God, he ran too fast. And so we're going to put 300 pounds on him and take away his intercooler and methanol and all this other bullshit. You know what? Anybody with any intelligence would say, okay, let's put the weight on him. Fine. Let's not do the intercooler deal. Let's not do all the other bullshit. But the problem is that his committee, and I don't believe it's a committee, I think it's just him listening to people that are giving him money, said, we need this and this and this to be competitive. And they're trying to just handicap Lasella. So, I mean, he got fucked in the ass.
I agree.
With just a huge black dildo.
Whatever happened to, hey, guess what? I want to run this class, but everybody's fucking faster than me. Excuse my language. And then, hey, I got to get faster somehow. I mean, whatever happened to that?
And to be the devil's advocate, let's say you go, you know what? That's just not realistic because this thing is superior. Then what you do is you go, okay, we need to do something. And we're trying to decide, do we put some weight? Do we put a smaller turbo? Do we get rid of the intercooler? Do we tell him he can't run the lockup? Right? Yes is the answer to one of those things. Right? One at a time. If you don't know exactly what it's going to do, then you do one at a time. And quite frankly, if I'm doing it right and I'm talking to Brett and he isn't losing his mind about the fact that we have to change something, which we know he wasn't because we already know that he said, yeah, I know we got to do something. This thing is too quick. Then with a guy like that, like again, Brett's smart. I would go to him. I mean, I know this may sound ass backwards to some people, but I would go to him and go, dude, you're too quick. We need to slow you down 500, right? So we need to slow you down 500 to get you where everybody else is. So I'm thinking we get rid of the lockup. If you're not allowed to have a lockup, then I think that's going to get us there. And if he went, yeah, that's probably close, then I go, okay, then this is what we're going to do. We're going to let you run it with no lockup at the next event, and let's see where we're at there. Right.
That's exactly what should have happened first. No lockup, bud. We're not going to throw weight on you because you throw weight on them, the converter is going to change anyway, right? It's going to throw the program off. No lockup, buddy. See what happens.
You put more weight on it. the torque converter is going to get better.
It could.
Well, it could. Yes, that's true.
Or it
so
could
what
get
I would do honestly is I'd go, hey, dude, the next race, we want you to come the day early. I'm not going to charge you for the tech card for the day for testing. Everybody else is coming because I need you to do some specific things because we want to see how much the lockup changes. And I would absolutely tell them do that. And then if at the end of that day you realize, the lockup's not quite enough, we're going to add 30 pounds also, right? Like something like that is good, and work with him. The reality is there are not a bunch of people running this combination. Okay. So it's him. So, treat the guy with some respect. Okay. And then let's do this, but doing that, I mean, the changes they made were wholesale and they were absurd. And it was going to kill 0.3 of a second of performance in this car, not 500ths. And on top of that, they then switched and they changed their minds and decided, oh crap, we screwed up. Now we want to do this. Now we want to do that. By the time it was all said and done, Brett was like, see ya. I'm not racing with you. Not because there needed to be a change, but because of how they did the change, which was bullshit. And he's 100% right.
They did him dirty. And to Levi in the comments, it's not Ford people. It's not.
No.
This is about Ford guys knee-jerk reactions.
Yeah, because I mean, Brett was not whining. He was 100% like, we know this needs to be adjusted, and was fully prepared for an intelligent conversation, which never happened. The committee, when they had their meeting, which was held so that Brett was on the call and apparently all the other LDR competitors could be as well. According to what Brett said in the story on DI, he said that the committee didn't know how big his engine was or what size his turbocharger was or turbos were on it. They didn't even know. Well, you can't be the rules committee that's changing something on a combo if you don't even know what's on it now.
Yeah.
I mean, because otherwise they go, oh, no, you got to change those turbos. They're going to need to be twin 98s now. You can't run what you're running now.
We got to talk about
they're twin 76s.
Camaro down. He drives a Mustang, doesn't he? Oh, is it a Mustang? Yeah. Really slow that guy.
Exactly, Ryan. Exactly.
So, Chad, how about this? Okay, just off the top of my head. Why don't somebody out there, IHRA, NHRA, somebody, just do an unlimited class for fuel, funny car, and pro mod? And they already do it unlimited for pro mod, but literally unlimited. Let's just see how fast this shit can go.
Oh, I think it would be awesome, but they're all scared to death. I mean, here's the deal. So I was in St. Louis. This is years ago now, probably 10 years ago. We were doing, I believe it was the Streetcar Super Nationals Under the Arch event. I believe that's what it was. Anyway, the pro mod guys were going really, 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 really fast. And I won't even say the driver, a driver that you would know, went out and ran it was 281 miles an hour, something insane. Okay. Crushed the mile an hour record, by a lot. It was the fastest a door car had ever been on a drag strip. And NHRA lost their minds. I mean, lost their minds. The racetrack ignored the phone calls until Monday, but literally they were like, those cars can no longer run at your racetrack. They can't run at any racetrack. That car is outlawed. Nobody can do it. Their knee-jerk reaction was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Mm-hmm. They don't want things to go faster. And I don't really care if they do or they don't, because nobody cares what they run. If you didn't have the scoreboards on, obviously it's still very popular racing. So clearly nobody cares if it says 300 or 200 or 100. What we care about is big burnouts and wheel stands and those are both in short supply nowadays. So if you want to improve drag racing, that's what you do. But these guys, I understand what you're saying, Aaron, and I love the innovation and all the things and pushing the limits. But there's just so much liability there that they're, pulling away from all the time. I don't know.
So,
I don't know. Records are getting way less often to be set,
Shout out to Wes Buck, because he likes to innovate. And I know he watches us on occasion.
Yep.
Wes Buck, at the World Series of Pro Mod next year, invite fuel cars to run as fast as possible and have them unrestricted and see what happens.
And here's the only big problem with that is you could choose a shittier racetrack to do that at than Bradenton, but not very easily. That racetrack, I'll just say it. Okay. I like going to Bradenton, even though it's in Florida.
I'll agree with you. I was down. I've been down there. I mean, it's a shitty racetrack.
Racetrack is not. I mean, they've done so much in the last few years, but there's one thing they can't do anything about, and that's the fact that there is a U-turn at the end to get onto the return road. I mean, a U-turn, and no fast cars make it all the way off the racetrack there. And when I say all the way off the racetrack, that includes your parachute. So nobody go, yeah, you can't. Dude, I know because I've been there. Like Lyle Barnett literally grabbed the chute for a fellow racer and threw it up on the car and by hand pushed the car out of the way because they'd already sent the next pair.
You can only run you can only run 8th mile there. I mean,
you cannot run fuel cars a quarter mile and do it at not all out. You're going through the fence.
8th mile, they can make the turnout.
I don't even think they have a sand trap there now that I think about it, because the fence is
no, I think it's a swamp.
I think you just go out into the field. But
I think it's a swamp.
I'm with you. I love what you're saying, but at the same time, I think that I don't think it will be as big of a thing as we want it to be, because of the fact that there are limitations, and also because there's a part of me that thinks that some of these teams will go to race, but they won't actually change anything because they won't have any, there won't be any point, right? Because they're never going to run any other time that way. You know what I mean?
So let me cross over from our previous topic to this topic.
Yeah.
So what if, just putting it out there, if Durana IHRA was to put out a $200,000 pro stock only shootout at Columbus.
Yeah.
And invite everybody. If Caps goes to this IHRA event, it opens the window for guys like Dallas Glenn, Greg Anderson, the KB Titan guys, elite guys, everybody to go to a $200,000 to win pro stock shootout.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
big.
To see that.
It's big. I mean, there's big implications if Caps doesn't back out of this. I mean, there's huge implications.
Oh yeah, agreed.
And while we're on that subject, before we change gears, put clutches back in pro mods. Put clutches back in pro mods. I'm done with that.
Clutches are awesome. I will tell you that the last NHRA Pro Mod car to run a clutch, I believe this still to be the case, and if I'm wrong, somebody tell me who this is, but I believe it was Steve Matuzik still, and his Mustang, I believe, was the last clutch car out there. But if somebody else has run a clutch car in NHRA Pro Mod since then, let me know. But I believe that was the last one. But I remembered one of the other topics that I wanted to talk about, and that is, and I'm going to bag on Wes Buck now. him and Mike. Him and Mike Carpenter, they dropped the ball like a greased pig. When they did their show 2 weeks ago talking about the hood scoops coming back to NHRA Pro Stock, and they completely dropped the ball, and I was very disappointed. And I didn't send a note to Wes, but I should have, because he pusses out sometimes at calling out NHRA on shit, and it drives me insane. Because NHRA has screwed Pro Stock for decades, okay? For decades. And the last screwing of Pro Stock was, we're going to go EFI, and now there's no scoops. It has to all go through this, thing that K&N had to design to go to the front of the cars, and all this extra expense, and these things sucked, and they just had a hard time running, and it was a big learning curve and all this stuff to get them to run. And they're fine. They run, they do good, they look cool, they do all the things, right? NHRA said emphatically that the reason that they were going to the flat hood was because that way people could relate to the cars more, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I have had numerous conversations with NHRA over the years, not in years, but over the years, about the topic of Pro Stock. And I had a conversation with them, and I will tell you 100% this, as God is my witness, this is exactly how it went, was I told them, you're fucking Pro Stock. And they were like, how are we doing that? And they said, well, people don't like it. People aren't staying in the grandstands while Pro Stock runs. We need them to be more relatable. Da, 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 da. And I said, you're right that people are leaving the grandstands, but that has nothing to do with the cars. It's 100% your fault. But there's good news. And they were like, what do you mean it's our fault? And I said, you trained them not to like Pro Stock. And they're like, what? And I said, to be more specific, you taught them not to watch Pro Stock. And so they don't care about it because they don't see it, and they haven't. And it has nothing to do with whether they have flat hoods or hood scoops. You taught your fans to leave the grandstands immediately upon completing Funny Car and Top Fuel. And because they run Top Fuel and then Funny Car and then Pro Stock, it means that they ran the two fuel classes and then everybody left.
Time to get a hot
dog. They went down to look at John Force.
I'm getting here.
Yeah, they want to go check out all the things in the pits because you trained them to do that.
You always run the slower cars first to the fastest, period.
And they only do that in the final round, and that's it. And so I told them, I said, only one guy in this entire meeting had the brains to go, okay, hold on. I'm not going to argue with you. What did you say? What did you mean by there's good news? And I said, if you could train them not to watch Pro Stock, you can train them to watch it. Yeah. And they literally, it was like I invented fire. Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. I know I'm smarter than the average bear, but Jesus Christ, people, pull your head out of your ass. If it's your job, then be good at it. The reason that NHRA Pro Stock has not been popular in decades is because they told people not to watch it. They told them to leave. Okay. And then they also gave it less, on TV. And then when guys like me were announcing for NHRA, they literally said to me, no, you cannot interview the Pro Stock guys. We want Top Fuel people only. Okay. At Pomona, when I had Alan Johnson, and I had Kenny Koretsky, and I had WJ standing in front of me, all ready for an interview, with Kenny in his, coat and tie, and me having to tell him you can't drop any F-bombs because we're going to be on the big Jumbotron. which if you know Koretsky, he's like, oh, I'm going to get you, Jed, you know, and I'm like, I'm going to be in trouble. Don't do this. Nope. No, we only want to talk to Nitro guys. Oh, and then by the way, when it was Scotty Palmer getting all the attention, nope, can't talk to Scotty Palmer because you're hurting John Force's feelings. It's a bunch of bullshit. We all know it's true. So here's the deal.
It's corporate run.
Cool. Yes. Hood scoops are cool. I like hood scoops. I like flat hoods. I don't really care. Okay. But NHRA, that is not the thing that mattered. Now, it matters now because teams that are run other kinds of things that know a tunnel ram and throttle bodies are going to be way happier than guys trying to run a 500-inch Pro Stocker with an intake that's more like a new LS intake. Like, just let them run a variety of things as long as there is parity in the class. Like Peter Harrell just said about the Snot Rocket, fair is not a thing when it comes to rules. Parity is the thing. Okay. Fairness and parity are two totally different things. They just are similar in definition. So the big deal is hood scoops or not, that isn't what's going to change NHRA Pro Stock. And what I am criticizing Mike and Wes about is that they didn't have the balls or the understanding, which is worse, to say, look, NHRA doesn't know what's good for racing. They don't know what's good for Pro Stock. They've been lost for decades. This is what we need to be doing. So
what you need to do is unlock the rules. Unlock the rules. I mean, seriously, yes. You know what? Let the fastest teams start winning and let the other ones fucking figure it out. I mean, that's racing. Right now, we have top sportsman cars, top dragsters, right, that are sportsman classes that can
are faster than
run in the 590s or 580s.
Yes.
Okay. Why is Pro Stock stuck in the 650s?
Well, it's the same thing as Bass Backwards about the junior street class. I mean, you can run a dragster at 790 at 86, 85 miles an hour, whatever it is.
Right.
But you can't drive a door car with safety equipment faster than a 9.0 in the 8th mile. Like what?
Exactly.
Huh?
It's dumb. No, I agree with you, right?
And you know, dude. I was legitimately trying to put a team together when Pro Stock Truck was hot, right? And that was what I wanted to do, was drive Pro Stock, but I couldn't afford that. So I wanted Pro Stock Truck. The reality is Pro Stock Truck had one of the best rules packages in drag racing. It allowed so much good stuff to be happening for small blocks, because that's what Pro Stock Truck was, 358-inch small blocks. Very similar to NASCAR engine combos at the time.
Pinella owned that class.
He did. But, he did really, really well, but there were other guys that were winning. Now, the Fords couldn't keep up, but they would have now. Think about that. If Pro Stock Truck was still around, the smart thing would have been for them to go, you know what? You can run a traditional, push rod engine up to 358 cubic inches. You can run a dual overhead cam engine up to 300 or something, right? We could figure that out. And you would be able to have the Ford guys compete because they'd be putting coyotes in them, right? And they were 5 speeds with a clutch. They were awesome, right? Like, there is a lot that could have been done. And don't get me wrong, I know there are dozens of other classes that have come and gone that also would be cool nowadays. But
the original Pro Stock trucks were also single frame rail trucks. They were light as shit.
They were really light. I think they were.
They're worth a lot of money right now.
And I think they were 2150 or something. But here's the other part. When you look at these, these rules and these categories, dude, Mountain Motor Pro Stock at IHRA went from having a half dozen to 20 to 30 cars, right? And a bunch of those, from what I am understanding, are guys even that used to run like normal NHRA 500-inch Pro Stock, who are like, shit, okay, cool. Well, they got Mountain Motor over there. Let's go run with them. and they're just going and buying a big motor, which honestly is way cheaper than a pro stock 500-inch combo. So, and they have dozens of them showing up for a race. That's awesome, right? And you know what they look like? Old pro stockers, because they all have big scoops. Like, that's cool, I don't care if it's a carburetor or fuel injection. If they stick to one, I'm happy with that. I don't care. The Holley EFI is fine, right? Doesn't bother me.
It took them 2 years to catch up to the carburetors with the EFI.
Yes, that is true.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm still stuck on the fact that you guys were talking about pro stock trucks with coyotes in it. Can you imagine having to hear that? Oh, Jesus.
I mean,
it would be awesome though. I would love that. I think it would be awesome if the Mopars were a Gen 3 Hemi and the Fords were actually, I don't even care.
You know what's going to happen.
They should do pro stock truck should be turbos. They should allow a single turbo.
Because we premonice something into IHRA every time we meet.
That is true.
There's going to be an IHRA pro stock truck class. I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to call it.
I'm hitting up Doug Foley tomorrow. Dougie Fresh.
I'm telling you, we say it into reality, it comes to fruition.
If anybody's listening about that, I want to drive a pro stock truck again. So please, somebody do this, and I will come drive this thing.
Okay, please. But there needs to be a caveat. I changed my position. If we're going to do pro stock truck and IHRA, they all have to be a Coyote. There can be no Chevrolet pushrod stuff. You know why? Do you know why? Because the Chevy pushrod guys are just going to cry about those guys, and they're going to start banning Coyotes in that too. You know what I mean?
Oh, you liar! No.
I'm just saying. Hey, let's just skip the BS.
Hey, Bob Pinella. Somebody hit up Bob Pinella. Bob.
I'm telling you, if you knew back in the day, I don't know if you knew back in the day, Ryan, but Pinella owned pro stock truck.
Oh yeah.
His motor
is a very accomplished engine builder still to this day. What's really funny is that people that only know them from racing is funny because Pinella their race shop is at the trucking company, or it always was anyway. They own a trucking company, and they've owned a trucking company for decades, and Pinella Trucking. And they haul tomatoes and onions in Central Valley of California, like by the billions of tons. They are like, if you live in the Central Valley, you see Pinella and not even on a race car, just on a truck all the time, hauling tomatoes and onions. But they are very accomplished engine builders. Now, the old man, Bob's dad, Bob Pinella Sr., he used to drive an Anglia back in the day.
Oh, the Anglia.
I love Anglias. I love Anglias.
Me too. And he sat in the middle of this son of a bitch, and it was a 4-speed, and he shifted it between his legs.
That's what I'm talking about. Can we talk about that for just a second? Okay, just a real quick second. Okay, when I was at Amarillo, we had all the old school guys there running the gasser stuff. And listen, I don't care how fast you are. Half these dudes that are fast as shit ain't near as cool as the dude who was smoking a cigar in a 51 Chevy Deluxe with a 498 and a tilt nose. That dude did like 5 dry hops, opened the door, blew the smoke off the cigar, put it back in his mouth, ripped it down through there. He was having more fun than anybody, and he's way cooler. Like you take anybody from Donald Long's group and put him at a restaurant with your mom. The dude with the cigar, he's taking your mom. One of the other dudes.
So Ryan, so I went to an event at Byron Dragway. It's called Meltdown Drags. If you've never been there for that, I mean, I think they're
Meltdowns was awesome.
So it's all about 1968-ish and earlier.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah.
So like I saw a Pontiac with 8 2-barrels on it. I mean, I saw all the stuff. Scott's rod, Scott's rods, right, Chad?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So all his stuff was there. I mean, it was so cool, and none of the stuff's fast. I mean, it's by today's standards, it's not fast, but I mean,
it looks fast when they're the only ones.
It's. I mean, they'll do the 8th mile burnout or whatever else and back up, and they'll do the dry hops and everything else, and they'll put on the showmanship, and that's a lot of what modern drag racing is missed. I mean, I grew up with the John Force burnout, right? That's what everybody called the big burnout. John Force burnout.
Exactly it. Yes.
Because he was known for the big burnout. Now it's like, all right, well, here we go. I mean, those nostalgia guys are all about the show. I'm a big believer in there's not many left in the country. AFX guys. I want to see AFX guys. And I understand why a lot of guys don't build it, because if you know what a true AFX car is, it's a straight axle car and it runs nitro with a blower. And they blow up a lot. I mean, they're dangerous. I mean, they are. I mean, they're fucking cool, and they smoke the quarter mile like the 60s was, and they put on a great show.
Bro, they had the Southwest Supercharger guys out there at this deal, and their deal is a 460 index. Blown, it has to be blown and injected.
That's the Southeast Gassers.
No. Well, Southeast Gassers was there, but there was a Southwest Superchargers were there as well. They do their own deal, and it's like it don't matter if you're a flopper body, slingshot, dude. There was a guy out there in a freaking real deal, built in 1965, slingshot front engine dragster with a small block and an 871 Mooneyham, and that thing was going. It was like number 9 qualifier, and he goes all the way to the finals, like wheeling the shit out of that thing. Now, it ran I think it ran like a 490 was his best run. Okay. But dude, those guys went down every time. There might be one to shake the tire. One dude shook the tire so hard that I'm sure he had to fix the frame after it was over with. But dude, it was so cool. And, they had the people backing them up. And the guy, his name's Floyd. He runs that group or whatever. He knew everything about those dudes. He came up there and we talked about it. I let him talk about his guys. And then we just bounced back and forth. It was so entertaining, but they weren't fast. Like, you
don't have to be fast to put on a show, though. That's the thing. And pro mods are cool. I mean, fuel is cool. But to put on a show, I mean, look at the March meet. I mean, none of that shit's fast.
Not compared.
No, it's not.
No, but it's awesome.
No, but it's all about the show. I mean, you got backup girl, you got people in high boots and all the other shit, and it's a lot of us old guys that remember that stuff, but it's a lot of young guys too. I mean, it's like. Bring back the showmanship of drag racing is what I'm talking about. Bring back the showmanship.
Yes, and that's what I was getting at. So so the guy who was running the slingshot was probably 25 years old. Okay. And he had his brother who was probably 28, 29 helping him, and they had their old man. And they pulled this thing behind a car in one of those low ride old school aluminum siding trailers, the ones that look like the shape. Dude, it was legit. It was the whole setup was legit. And
you would lose your mind if you went to the March meet, because you saw like a handful of them.
I know.
I'm not even kidding. Your head would explode.
I need to go to that, because but what I was getting at with the whole thing is like these guys, they have their own little rivalries within themselves, and then we talked about it up there in the tower, and we're getting people fired up about it, and then these dudes would get, they do their burnouts and they back up, and I'm like, oh yeah,
dry hop.
Yes. Yeah. And it gets people fired up. And so you talk about pro stock, man, like the thing about pro stock is that was the only thing I really cared about in NHRA drag racing. I could care less about a fuel car. I mean, they're cool. Right. You see 2 of them, you're like, all right, cool. It's just a lot of shit, shake shit out of me. Yeah, it's fast as hell, but it's not relatable. I don't care, whatever. But pro stock, man, back when Warren Johnson and Glidden and all those guys were racing, like you had these great rivalries, and I talk about this all the time. And after going to this match race madness deal, like I love the match racing. Like that's something that's missing. Like here these guys came and they got 4 times to run each other, and Farm Truck lost 3 times to Dominator in that 34 Chrysler he's got. And and you know, so when he
by the way, what a great guy.
Oh, dude, he is.
Joe Woods is amazing.
Joe
He's such a good human. He is, and his wife is awesome. And
dude, anyway. we had a great talk when we were there. And anyway, long story short, though, you know, when they come up there for their 4th run, dude, everybody's on the fence. I'm up there like, you know, he's been trying hard all weekend to get a W. Can he get it done? Get on the fence. You want to see Farm Truck? Let me hear you. And everybody's like, yeah, dude. And I'm like, that right there, if I could bottle this up right now,
right,
and then put it out there in front of everybody who is in charge of anything racing, go, if you can't do this, you suck at life. If you can't put this together, you suck at life, and you don't need to be doing this. And yeah, they put fans in the stands at the NHRA, but man, I'm telling you what, that to me, I'm still riding on a high from that. I just haven't seen that many people. The last time I've seen that many people at a track was at Big Jake's race. That was a $200,000 race, man. A $200,000 race. And they had a lot of people there. And you know what? It cost me and Jake $100 to get in there and watch that.
Right.
You know how much it costs to go to this deal? $30 a head. Kids 12 and under free.
Yep. Well, and I'll tell you
well, that's what killed the MPA thing. Was I mean, to get VIP and all the other bullshit was like $180.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Well, and it here's the deal. Like, so you need fun and excitement to put on the show.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need the cars to be fast. Okay.
No.
If all you have is fast cars, then you're missing out on putting on the show. Right. So fast cars can be in a good show if they're doing things that put on a show. Right.
Yep.
But if you are not doing, people want burnouts. Okay. People want burnouts and they want wheel stands. And we 100% know that if you took let's say you took Ryan Martin and Sean Ellington, if you Fireball and Murder Nova, if you took the two of them and you put them up against each other on the drag strip in the Camaro and the Nova, and you have them run, like, it's great, it's cool, it's all those things. If you put them in cars that run 1.5 seconds slower to the 8th mile, but they do a big burnout and they carry the wheels past 60 foot, people will be more excited about that.
Every time.
They won't even know that they're slower. They won't care. Okay. And you want to know, want evidence of that? You've been talking about it the whole time.
Yeah.
Farm Truck and Asian have not been in Street Outlaws or NPK in any competitive way for years. I mean, like 6 or 7 or 8 years. Like, they're not, the Farm Truck isn't competitive at all with any of the stuff they're doing now. That's not what people love, that it was fast, but what people really love is the fact that son of a bitch twists up like this with the front end in the air and makes all the noises, and the hatch flies open, and Asian is dancing around doing all the Asian things, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're awesome because of the show, not because of the power. And it drives me insane that people don't understand that, Yeah. I mean, that's why NHRA Stock Eliminator and Super Stock cars, if people actually watch them at the races, are amazing, right? An NHRA stock eliminator car has a 930/15 tire on it. It's a 30-inch tall tire that's 9 inches wide. It's just taller than a 275, but it's the same width. Okay. Yeah. It's 2 inches taller than a 275/60. So it's the original small tire drag racing. NHRA stock eliminator originally had 7-inch wide slicks. Yep. Okay. And the rule was 7 inches, and they measured them before you pulled in the water. So guys would literally fire up the cars in the pits and use a wood rasp to grind the edges of the tread down, because they would mushroom out as you did burnout. So you had to do that after every run to make sure your tires weren't more than 7 inches wide. Okay. Yeah. Small tire drag racing started with NHRA stock eliminator, and they pull the wheels in the air. Super stockers stand on the bumper every time. Like, that's fun. And they run, anything from, super stockers, they can run anything from 8s in the quarter, 7s in the quarter, all the way down to 12s or whatever. And they're super fun to watch because they do. And they're awesome to drive. Big wheels. Well, it's so much fun.
Hey, Chad.
Yeah.
Share the photo on your phone I just sent you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's my buddy Matt Kilman, who wins a lot of races.
Yeah,
did you send it to me on Messenger?
No, I sent it to you text. Do you want a messenger?
Text. I haven't gotten it yet.
That is definitely the thing. Like that I say it all the time. Like
messenger would be better if you can do that.
I call it a show because it is a show.
Yes.
If you have spectators coming in and paying money, it's a show. Yeah, they want to see stuff fast. Yeah, okay, cool. But they're there for the show. They're there for the event. And each driver is there to compete, but they're also there to put on a show. And they get excited when the fans are fired up. And when you get it to where it is, it's just like, I mean, even radial tire racing. I mean, I love radial tire racing, and I remember the height of it, and it is, and it sucks because it's just not exciting anymore, And then when you have stuff like this, where what's going on with LaSala and everything, you're just like, God dang, man! Like, what are we doing here, guys? We're just hatcheting this class. We're hatcheting this racing to death. Like,
I got it.
There's a video there too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it won't open it in Messenger actually, but I got it on the text. So weird. Yeah, it doesn't like your attachment.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. Oh.
But cars going on the bumper is a cool thing. And people
yes. Absolutely. That's awesome. Yeah, it's there is no doubt that people want to see a show, like you said. They are not just there to watch the performance alone. I mean, people want to see the whole thing, right? I mean, it's the whole shooting match, and for good reason. If people are spending good money to come out, and spend that time away from something else and all those things, that matters. I mean, that just matters.
I mean, these people out here at this race up in Amarillo, we had 50-mile-an-hour headwinds on Friday night. Okay. And there was a freshly plowed field behind the track.
Yeah.
There was a huge dust storm that rolled in. These people were so dedicated. They were sitting out there getting sandblasted. Like, no one got up and left. They had to sweep the track 3 or 4 times. Looks like they were sweeping a beach. The track got so dusty.
Right.
And I mean, we ended up having to call it early because the track got so unsafe. Like Farm Truck and Asian and Doc and Monza made their match race runs, and you could literally see their tracks going through the white dust on the track.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Oh, it was horrible. And they were like, hey, we can't send anymore. I'm like, guys, we got too many people here. Can we at least send the jet car and the wheel stander? Because the wheel standers, that it need traction like those cars.
Yeah.
The jet car. So we ended up kind of lagging it out. But these people stayed out there in that weather because they were just so happy to be there because there was a show being put on in front of their eyes. And
yeah. Oh yeah,
it's about the show. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it's 100% about the show. So it's not about the speed; it's about the show, and that's what a lot of the sanctioning bodies, including IHRA, a little bit, NHRA, and has lost. It's about putting on a show for the fans. You know what? The other problem is that, you know, for a while there, I mean, NHRA was like, oh, you know, the pro stocks have to back in and blah, blah, blah with their EFI intakes, and they have to be able to show them off and everything else. You know, I think there should be like a 10-foot gallery that can walk around every fuel, everything else, you know, and watch the engine get rebuilt, watch, you know, stuff get done on the car. The problem is you can watch from the back of a freaking 54-foot hauler, and you're kind of going, oh, well, it looks like he's taking head bolts out. I can't really tell.
Right.
I mean, you should be able to see from the side.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. And I couldn't use your photo, but I grabbed another one, Ryan, or Aaron. But you know, if you look at this pair of cars right here, which one of these cars do you think everybody was paying attention to?
Oh, the Fox body way. I mean,
yeah, I mean, totally, right? I mean, everybody's like, yeah, I mean, cool, you know, I mean, that dumb Chevelle over there, why is it doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, nobody was at this moment on this run, nobody was talking about the Fox body, and nobody was looking at the Fox body, and it wouldn't have mattered what that car was or how awesome it was or how fast it was, because that guy in the Chevelle was doing that. Now, it just so happened that the guy in the Chevelle also like landed the wheel stand and won the race. But yeah, I mean, this was at the Dutch Classic. This is this is an average door cars race, not some giant ass thing, dude. I mean, hello, that's what I want to see. The number one giveaway poster of my day was
Flowmaster.
Flowmaster. Yes. Flowmaster had a poster, and it was a giant Chevelle wheel stand. I'm going to pull it up because I think
it was a 70 Chevelle.
Maybe 68 or 9.
I think it was a 68 or 9. Yeah. It was pink.
Pink.
Yeah, it was pink. And it was, yeah, here it is. Hold on, let me grab this.
Here's another one. It was a real famous one. My buddy Justin Purcell's Malibu back in the day. It was all over the internet. People started using it for their suspension stuff, and that was it right there.
This one.
I mean, that Chevelle poster for Flowmaster sold them a shitload of mufflers.
Oh, I mean, an insane.
And I was really disappointed when I put the 40 series Flowmasters on my 67 Chevelle, and it did not do that. I was,
you know, you didn't have the right cam.
Yeah,
well,
you didn't.
That's what I was told. Yeah,
yeah, it was the camshaft was wrong. That's absolutely
get you every time.
But I mean,
yeah.
I mean, we're getting late, but I mean,
yeah,
drag racing in a whole is lacking showmanship.
Oh yeah,
and I'm not talking IHRA, I'm not talking IHRA. We're talking as a whole. We're lacking showmanship. There it is, right there. Yeah.
Right. Oh
yeah.
Shit! What did I do? Did I screw it up? Oh, I did. Sorry. Hold on.
Pretty much.
I did. I screwed it up. I pushed the wrong. I got rid of the wrong thing.
That was a great picture, though. I used to have that picture. I had a magazine. I bought a magazine, and in one of them, they had made that into a poster that was folded up in there, and then you pulled it out and unfolded it.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that was because it was so popular that they did it. You know, they pulled it. Yeah.
I hot glued it to the door in my bedroom, and my mom was pissed when we moved and pulled it down, and the paint came off with it. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, instead of being Donald Dick and posting your starting line photos of, 200 people on the starting line, that's a better photo of your event. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
Or doing selfie videos with the cameras like this in your face.
That is it. That's it right there.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. You're talking
with mufflers standing up.
Yes.
And that's,
you know what else it has?
That's Atlanta Dragway, which I don't think is no longer in service.
It is not. My first professional drag racing announcing gig was actually there at Atlanta Dragway. Yes, it was awesome. That is, but the greatest thing about that is this is not like some Flowmaster sponsored car. It's none of those things. It's just, oh my God, look at how good the Flowmasters look under this thing. So yes, we're going to use that as our poster. And notice it also has a hood scoop. Because you can.
I wonder if that guy ever got any money. I wonder if he ever got any kickback from Flowmaster. I doubt it, but
I doubt it. But I'll bet he got invited to some events, so he might have got some tow money for that. But yeah, I mean, look at that. Come on. That's rad. Like, and that's a tube chassis, 68 or 9, Chevelle. It's all monochromatic. It's all the things. And the back bumper is buried in the ground. I mean, the quarter panels are a little bowed. It's great.
So let me ask this. Okay.
Yeah.
And I know we need to wrap up, but when is somebody going to bring back America's Fastest Streetcar Shootout?
Well, they're doing that. That's what
that's not Drag Week. That's not Drag Week. That's not Drag Week.
No. Havlic's Fastest Streetcar Shootout. They've been doing it the last couple of years, but it's not as, it's more of a reunion kind of thing, if you will, but it's getting more and more serious. So I'm hoping that this year we'll have some, will really be a competitive year for some of the cars. But they are also bringing back these older, builds too, which is really cool. And Annette Summers is out there racing her same car with a clutch pedal, by the way, which is awesome. And she is such a nice lady. I mean, she is awesome. So yeah,
I met her when I was a little kid, dude.
I want to go back. I want to go back to the 100-mile drive, and the hood's taped shut, and you can't do anything. And I want to go back to the original. Drag Week kind of ruined it, and I won't say ruined it because
I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
I want a true fastest streetcar shootout. Is what I want.
As long as they dry hop them, that's all I care about. Bring back the dry hop. I know it kills the 60 foot. I don't care.
Yeah, who cares? They're fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, like you said, we've been on for 2 hours, which is crazy, but we talked about lots of things. If anybody wants to solve all the world's problems, we're the guys for it. Hold on, dude. You got to give me some warnings so I can do it. I'm going to just wait. And then, no, just wait a second. And I'll play it.
I'm slipping.
Okay, are you ready?
Lord, we chained our hearts in vain. We jumped, never asking why. We kissed, but you.
I'm sure that YouTube hates me for that, but I don't care. That is the official song of Donald Dick, the nut swinger of all time. I love it, dude. That is so good. I want, how many people would buy a t-shirt that was
that had a duck swinging off a nutsack?
Hanging on a nutsack, which says, I come in like a wrecking ball. Who would buy that shirt? I'd
buy it.
I'll make them. I got the t-shirt productions about 40 feet away from where I'm sitting. Holy crap, that would be awesome.
I got a duck we can use as a model.
Perfect. Oh my God, that would be great.
No.
We should do it for we should do it for charity. Like we should raise money for something so he can't even bitch because he'll look like
raise
a
it
bigger
for
asshole than
testicular
he already
cancer.
is.
Raise it.
Yes. Oh my God. They have to be like hairy old man balls with gray hair hanging off of them and everything. It'd be great.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
you can't get mad, dude. We're doing this for testicular cancer, bro.
Yes, it's for charity. It's all about the
charity.
kids. I mean, yeah, whatever.
You know, if he gets wind of this tomorrow, we are going to be
perfect, great, totally good.
Hey, we've already got a customer. We got a customer in the comments.
We do, yeah. Germany Mason says, "I'm in. I will buy it."
I mean, let's just build it and they will come.
I'll get in with some Chat GPT to do and some Gemini, and we'll see what.
Hey, maybe we can link up with Donald, and he can give 10% off to the next LDR. If you bring a shirt, you get 10% off your LDR.
There you go. No, if your entire team wears the shirts, then we'll give you a 10-pound weight break in LDR.
Oh.
Dude, Brett would call him. I guarantee you that Doug Cook or Brett would call me and be like, okay, we want 30 shirts. And they would have their entire team wearing them. It would be brilliant.
Well, I mean, they should.
Hey,
we should.
Marketing genius. Hey,
I know.
NHRA.
I know.
NHRA.
All of you guys listen to us for the love of God. We know that IHRA does because they keep adding all the stuff we talk about. You're 100% right on that, Aaron.
Any trade just needs to fire their top guys and hire Chad and I, and they'd be fine.
It would absolutely. It would be just fine.
We'd fix all the problems.
Yes, 100%. I love it. Everybody, thank you for joining us tonight. We so appreciate you guys. And Aaron and Ryan, as always, love you guys. Next week, live for Power Shift with Desi from The Vault. Which is the Wheel Hub Vault, which if you are not familiar, and you probably aren't, is a really cool deal. It is a new website specifically aimed at selling really famous cars. And literally came from the fact that he bought the original Quadradeuce. Do you remember that? The one that was built on Summit and all that, and it was on the TV show and everything. He bought that car for, I'm not going to say the amount because I don't know that he wants it to be shared, but ridiculously cheap. Okay. Because it was for sale and nobody knew it was for sale and whatever. And when he got it, he thought, man, this thing is too cheap. Like that, this is stupid. So he literally went out and got quadradeuce.com or some variation of that and made his own website for the car and did all this stuff. And when it was time to sell it, he sold it and had all this publicity and all this history and all the things for it and got real money for it. And then decided he needed to do this because there are tons of old magazine cars and stuff out there that, how do you sell those to people? There's just not the right, market. And they have found it. And it's the Wheel Hub Vault. And it is cool because every car, beautiful photos, all those things. And then the entire history of it, publication wise, etc., website for the cars, all that. It's really, really neat. So Desi's going to be on the show next week for that. And so we'll see you next week for sure on Power Shift. And then 2 weeks from now, we'll see what the fallout is from tonight.
And maybe Clay.
Yeah, well, exactly. I'm going to hit him up. I'll see if he wants to come play. It'll be fun.
All right,
Give him a
boys.
lot. They'd be good. All right, ladies. It was a pleasure. I love you guys. Have a good one. Stay out of trouble. I'm going to go write blog items down.
Stay in trouble. Stay in trouble.
There you go. It's like stay in school, except the wrong word. So it's fine.
Coyote swap the world.
Bye-bye.